So we grew up in a pretty horrible home. We were known as a good church family, a good Christian family who did everything right, but behind closed doors it was pretty awful stuff. We were really suffering pretty much every form of abuse you can think of. I grew up with 2 brothers and 1 sister, and we've all suffered pretty terribly from that. Going through teenagehood, I ended up substance abuse, ended up depressed, ended up dealing with a whole heap of stuff that is just not something I'm proud of. By the time I was 25, I was married to an abusive husband. I ended up going through even worse depression, worse addictions, and by the time I was about 27, I lost absolutely everything. And I was struggling with drugs. I was, again, alcoholic. And I was married to someone who I barely knew, and I just married him because he said he loved me and because that's all I thought I was worth. It just got worse and worse. I ended up losing all my jobs and having pretty much nothing to do, and the depression just got worse, the anxiety just got worse, the drug addiction just got worse, the alcoholism just got worse. I moved to Tamworth within 6 weeks of knowing Paul, and that's when things started to change. 10th of July 2016 was the day that, I found Christ. I came to church one day. Christ just saved me. I surrendered my life that day because He came into my life. He gave me freedom. He gave me peace. He gave me the strength to be the person that I'm actually meant to be and not who I thought or who I'd been told I was meant to be. So since I've come to Christ, life has just changed dramatically. I've been cleared completely of every single illness I had. I've been completely medication free for about 18 months now. I've been completely drug free for 3 years. I've been completely alcohol free for about 2 years, and I've been completely cigarette free for nearly 2 years as well. I've been told my whole life that I'd never fall pregnant, and yet me and Paul are expecting our first child in September this year, which is amazing. We got married on less than $1,500, and it was the best day that I could absolutely ask for, and we never thought that we'd actually meet that day. I couldn't leave the house, let alone afford a wedding, and yet we had both. It was amazing. Yeah, life hasn't exactly been easy over the last 18 months, and yet it would have been a lot harder without Christ in my life. I've had God to rely on, I've had God to fall back on, I've had God to say, I trust you, and for Him to say, it's okay, I've got this in my hands. I actually have a reason for living these days. Up until the 10th of July 2016, which was the day I came to Christ, I just didn't want to live. I didn't care about living. Life was life, but if I died, who cared? Whereas now, I can't wait to live the rest of my life. I have a peace now. If there's something wrong, I'm able to turn to Christ and just go, hey, God, help. And He goes, okay.